Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. In the previous lecture, we have discussed in detail monohybrid cross, and we have seen when Mendel crossed two plants with contrasting characters. Out of the two characters, only one gets expressed in F1 generation. That is, one remains dominant, another remains recessive. And when F1 were self-pollinated, they produce the dominant and recessive parents in the ratio of 3:1. And once again, when F2 individuals were self-crossed, they proved that the phenotypic ratio 3:1 is actually 1:2:1 genotypic ratio. That is, out of the total plants, 25% breeds true for tallness, 25% breeds true for dwarfness, and 50% they produce tall and hybrid. Once again, in the ratio tall and dwarf in the ratio of 3:1. That is, they behave like F1 hybrids. Mendel repeated the similar experiments with all the 7 pairs of contrasting characters and repeatedly obtained similar results. That is, F1 monohybrids resemble one of the parents, and in F2 generation, the parental types appeared in phenotypic ratio 3:1 and genotypic ratio 1:2:1. Today we will take up observations and what we have observed from monohybrid cross. We have observed that F1 hybrids always exhibits only one of the two parental forms. Only one of the two parental form of traits. Only one of the two parental form of traits, despite inheritance of characters from both the parents. And first observations which I've seen in F1 generation, that F1 hybrids always exhibit only one of the two parental forms. As we have seen in case of tall and dwarf, only tall gets expressed despite inheritance of characters from both the parents. Characters were inherited from tall and dwarf parent, but in F1 generation only tall gets expressed. Number 2, both the parental forms of a trait were expressed in F2 generation, in the ratio of 3:1. That's what we can say, the form of trait which remains suppressed in F1 generation that reappeared in F2 generation, but in the ratio of 3:1. In the ratio of, that is, dominant parent, the parent which was expressed in F1 generation, that 75%, and the parent which remains recessive, that produces 25% of the total progeny in F2 generation, what we call as 3:1 phenotypic ratio. Third observation, the form of trait that appeared in F1 generation, as I have already told you, was present in F2 generation 3 times more than its alternative recessive form. And we have observed 3 things. First, F1 hybrids accept only one of the two parental forms of traits despite inheritance of characters from both the parents. Number second, both parental forms of a trait were expressed in F2 generation in the ratio of 3:1. And third thing, we have seen the form of trait that appeared in F1 generation was present in F2 generation about 3 times as its alternative recessive form, and also proved that 3:1 phenotypic ratio is actually 1:2:1 genotypic ratio. After observations, conclusions of monohybrid cross, and on the basis of these observations, Mendel has given some conclusions. What are these conclusions? From the observations of monohybrid cross, Mendel draw following conclusions. Number first conclusion: every character of an organism is governed by a factor, what we call as gene, modern gene. And every character of an organism is controlled by a factor, what we call as modern gene or determiner. And each factor in turn is present in duplicate. Each factor which controls a character, it is present in duplicate, that is possessing two alleles, or occurs in pairs in each cell of a living organism. Now, what we can say, every character of an organism, it is controlled by a factor or modern gene or determiner, and in turn this factor or gene, it occurs in duplicate, it occurs in pairs, that is, it possesses two alleles in each cell of a living organism. Number second conclusion is, when individuals with contrasting characters are crossed, the characters do not blend or mix, but only one character gets expressed. Only one character express itself or gets expressed, and other remains suppressed. When individuals with contrasting characters are crossed, the characters do not blend or mix, but only one character gets expressed and other remains suppressed in F1 generation. The one which gets expressed is called dominant, and the other which remains suppressed, that is hidden, is called recessive. The one which gets expressed, that is get dominated in F1 generation, that is called dominant, and the other which remains suppressed, that is which remains hidden, is called as the recessive. Number third observation is, the contrasting characters in an individual remain together but do not mix or blend, and separate out in future generations, or separate out in future generations or separate out in gametes at the time of gamete formation. And the contrasting characters in an individual remain together but do not mix or blend and get separated out in future generations, that is gametes at the time of meiosis, at the time of gamete formation. That is what we can say, they separate and segregate out in future generations at the time of gamete formation. And what we can say, on the basis of observations of monohybrid cross, Mendel drew three conclusions. Number first, every character of an organism is controlled or governed by a factor, and each factor in turn is present in duplicate or possesses two pairs of alleles in each cell of a living organism. Number second, when two individuals with contrasting characters are crossed, the characters do not blend or mix, but only one character gets expressed and other remains suppressed in F1 generation. The one which gets expressed is called dominant and the other which remains suppressed is called recessive. The contrasting characters in an individual remain together but do not mix and separate out in future generation or gametes at the time of gamete formation. What we can say, they remain together for some time, and once they get a chance to separate, they separate out, they segregate out, and are produced as independent gametes. Now, on the basis of these three conclusions, Mendel proposed three laws. On the basis of first, he proposed a law of unit character or paired alleles. Law of unit character. Because unit character, every character is controlled by a unit that is called a gene, and this gene in turn occurs in pairs, that is, it is called as paired alleles. Law of unit character or law of paired alleles. Because every character is controlled by a unit factor that is called a gene. On the basis of this, we call it law of unit factor, and every character, every gene occurs in pairs. Every character occurs in pairs. That's why we call it as law of paired alleles. Every gene has two alleles. On the basis of first conclusion, he proposed the first law, that is law of unit character and law of paired alleles. Number second, when individuals with contrasting characters are crossed, the characters do not blend or mix, but only one gets expressed and other remains suppressed. The one which gets expressed is called dominant and other which remains suppressed is called recessive. On the basis of this conclusion, he proposed law of dominance. Law of dominance, of law of dominant recessive character. Law of dominance, we states that whenever two parents with contrasting characters are crossed, only one gets expressed in F1 generation while other remains suppressed. The one which gets expressed is called dominant and the other which remains suppressed is called recessive. On the basis of second conclusion, Mendel proposed law of dominance. Now, on the basis of third conclusion, whenever two parents with contrasting characters are crossed, the characters do not blend or mix but remain together without being mixed or blended, and they separate and segregate out once they get a chance to separate out, that is at the time of gamete formation they get separated out or segregated out. On the basis of this conclusion, he proposed law of segregation. This law of segregation is also known as law of purity of gametes. This has proved that gametes are always pure for a character. For example, if we have capital T small t individual hybridal, at the time of gamete formation, capital T segregates out and capital T small t gets segregated out from the capital T, and once it gets a chance to get expressed, and if it receives a develop this, if it receives this small t, then it gets expressed and produce a develop this plant. That means these gametes, they are always pure for a character. Gamete may be, it may be a dominant gamete or a recessive gamete, but once it gets a chance, it's separated out, it gets segregated out. On the basis of this conclusion, he proposed the third law, what we call as law of segregation or law of unit character. Law of segregation or law of unit character. But later on it has been found that the first two, that is law of character, unit character, and law of dominance, they are not laws, they are simply generalizations, and the first law we call this law of segregation as the first law. But as per your textbook says law of dominance as the first law and law of segregation as the second law. This is all for today. Inshallah, in the next lecture we will discuss about these laws. This is all for today. Thank you. Khuda Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.